confirmation of minutes. So take them as being read. Any views of writing from the minutes of the previous meeting? Jim, any seconder for that? Kicking of those? Valid, okay. Declarations of interest. Any changes, amendments, additions?
Yeah, I've seen mine for 0. They'll be active from next meeting.
Yeah, okay, so let's move to item 26.5.2.
And Rebecca Williams online.
Right.
Excellent.
Welcome.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you. Firstly, apologies for not being able to be with you in person. I'm at a Otago Community Trust meeting today. The Vincent Community Board has received a request from the Earnscleugh Community Society for $48,694.26 for the costs associated with replacing the Earnscleugh Hall roof. Now, is Angela in the room?
Angela's here.
Yes.
Yeah, Angela, do you want to speak to that at all?
Well, it's probably self-explanatory, but yes, I'm Angela McNaughton. I've been the chairperson of the Earnscleugh Community Society, which is an incorporated society, for about 12 years, and we have used the Amenity Trust Fund twice previously to renovate the kitchen and the supper room, and we've got a centenary coming up in November. The hall will be 100 years old, which is pretty amazing, and we're having a celebration. We wanted to do a bit of interior painting and things, but we've got these leaks in the roof, so we think, well, until we fix the roof, it's not really worth doing anything inside. So we've had some quotes, and quote that we're planning to accept. The guy's been up in the roof and had a look, and there may be a bit of extra money needed to until they take the roof off. They can't see exactly what's needed. There may be some extra timber and stuff allowed for some of that, but we think that's, you know, it's a wise use of the fund to fix that roof, and then we sort of can move forward from there.
Thank you, Angela.
Just one question on that, if I could. I think that quote didn't mention anything about the skylights, but the others did.
There is some old skylights, about 7 or 8 of them, that were installed originally, but they were made redundant because a ceiling was put up a long time ago, way before my time. So they will all be removed. We won't have any skylights.
Thank you. Can I continue, or is there another question?
Any questions? Yep.
Once this request came in, and if it was granted, the balance of the Amenity Trust Fund would be $3,839, which prompted staff to consider actually gifting that amount to the Earnscleugh Community Society to manage that, so that they can manage their own affairs going forward with such a small balance. The fund was established as a result of that 2004 consent. And it has been used by the society to maintain and progress the hall. So I'm happy to respond to any questions about that proposition.
Can I just add that Council's had a long relationship with Angela. She has been running this project for many years and been chipping away at that hall. It's been, and they just constantly independently look after their facility, and it's available for community use.
It makes perfect sense.
We've got to have that little bit extra actually as a contingency in case we have to.
And that means that a line can be drawn underneath that, and No,
council
that
won't
means we
have
don't
to.
need to see you at this table ever again.
That's right.
Maybe, yeah. Well, we trust you implicitly to get the job done. Okay. So, we do have. I'm happy to move for recommendations. None. Thank you. Over. Those in. Area. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Centenary, Angela.
Yeah, see you in
Good
November.
luck with the centenary.
Oh, thank you. We've got a lot of people interested. Yes, a lot of old residents.
Very cool. Thanks, Rebecca.
Oh. Okay. 6.5.3. Right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So yeah, road naming report received. I'll assume that it's been, I'll take it as read. So we've had a request from the developer to name this road Glen Orr Drive. There's two separate words. It goes against our policy. Therefore, the recommended option and agreeable to the developer is Glen Orr Drive, combining the two words. Questions or discussion?
I prefer option one. I think it's unacceptable to bastardize the word in another language. And I think that there is precedent for it to have the two separate words, despite the fact it doesn't follow policy. I think that otherwise it will be mispronounced until the end of time and lose the actual meaning that's intended.
And if we agreed it's, you've got a standard, it's a guideline as much as a rigid standard.
Yeah, and I think it does stem back to understandability, readability, and communication in terms of if you're ringing 111 and requesting an ambulance, if you say Glen Orr Drive, is it one word? Is it two words? And that's where it does potentially create a risk. I know there are other examples within the district and other districts, but it is all around single word and simple from that probably emergency services arm in terms of if you're needing to communicate that. But the guidance does also speak to the fact that more complex or different pronunciation names, if they are culturally appropriate and significant, different things like that, they are learnt and understood within communities and different things like that. So it does talk to that as well as part of that guidance and standard.
And having had first-hand experience living on a double Garrett street name and having to phone an ambulance, it's managed very well.
Do we, when we submit the names to Linus, do we present a little bit of that background on something that departs from the standard?
No.
Right, we just say that here's the name, boom. No.
And they may come back and say it's not acceptable for whatever reason. Generally, that doesn't happen. Except.
Yeah, I shouldn't. You want to meet?
Oh, well, I mean, I'd like to move for option one.
Second, those in favour? Aye. Yep. Gary?
Our next road name, 269 Dunstan Road. So we've had a request from the developer to name 6 roads, being Wilson Drive, Spain Way, Ramsey Way, Forest Road, Lynch Lane and Barker Lane. And the developer has since withdrawn the name Wilson and substituted it for Davidson. He's done this because there is a Wilson street within the district, although it is Omapau, which is 25k from the development site, which is generally acceptable. However, he has replaced it with Davidson. It's also off the approved list. Joseph Lindsay Davidson was a prominent member of many public organisations in Hyde District, so it certainly meets the criteria. So the recommendation, therefore, is all 6 names substituting Wilson for Davidson.
Happy to move. Thank you. Favour? Aye.
Okay, and number 3, the Naitahu subdivision here in Alexandra. The request is to name 4 names, being Heiheata Avenue, Kopawai Crescent, Kaimio Road and Karaka Close. Once again, all roads meet the criteria that have been recommended by Okaha. And therefore, I think that we should accept.
And noting in your attachments, the appendices, there is the letter from Okaha recommending those names.
Again, I'm happy to move.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, proposal to approve the 6.5 to approve by the festival. If so much table, but not room.
Someone to be chair.
Young gentleman put his hand up. Penny Nats.
So I'll take over the chair as Martin and Tony have a vested interest in this. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Any questions on that?
Ross, you're proposing that you approve it.
Seems straightforward to me.
This is the hard part, yeah. Like I can still ask you questions, can I?
Yep.
Yes.
So I don't have a problem with it at all. I'm just interested in, like, is there some, any thoughts at this stage outside of that window when you're going to be storing specific things for alternate use or simply storage was my question.
Oh, just look. Currently the container's sitting on Breen's yard.
Yeah.
We use the shed up there at this time of the year for building floats, and having it all in one place just makes sense.
And the only question was, judging from the map, it doesn't interfere with any of the potential plans for continued use of the site later.
No, it's been approved by the waste team as well, so yeah.
Everybody's happy, and hence the reason it's out of sight, out of mind.
Cool.
And this sort of fits in with the community board sort of vision for that boundary road area with getting some extra activity in there as well. So I think that ticks all our boxes. So we'll.
Right. 6.5.7 Manukau Valley Community Hub progress report. Oh,
I'll take the report as read. Just an update on how things are going out at Omaka with the Manukau Hub. After a bit of delay with a few hiccups along the way to do with the design, and there's been some irrigation flooding, a few other bits and pieces, they're making really good progress now. So they're into the roof framing, and roof's looking like it'll be on by the end of August. And it's really, we've got the time-lapse camera up there, so we get to see what's happening day by day, hour by hour. So going really well.
yeah, I guess I was interested in kind of in the planning stage. You've obviously talked about some design coordination. And I'm kind of thinking that should have been a bit ABC for architects and the parties involved in that part of the process.
I think I'll jump into this one first. I'm not going to mention any names, but every best intention coming from a design from the community point of view, and to do things at some of the stuff almost pro bono and low cost has resulted in some shortfalls and gaps. So we then picked it up with our construction partners, which is Breens, and we've had to now fill all those gaps, which means more consents have to go in, more designs have to go in, and that type of stuff.
We've got a way forward now, so.
Yeah.
We're a bit lightly around some
Yeah.
local input.
Yeah, and I mean, and fantastic that we had the local input.
You're right.
You know, and we've got majority of the stuff, but it's just the finessing at the end of the day that we just need to tidy up.
Just receive the report.
Check and receive the report. Tom with that. Second for that, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
Things. Okay, 26.5.8.
You guys.
Community hub. Sorry, the central stories.
Building order.
So just before we get into the reports, I just want to introduce Angie Simon. She's been with the property team for just under a year, making great strides in one of the biggest portfolios in our team. So this is her first report. So welcome, Angie.
The report is read. Yeah. Any questions?
And we've covered a wee bit of ground, probably just prior to the meeting. I think we've probably scratched all our itches around that. Anything else you'd like to ask?
I want to just reiterate that in the public setting so that it can just be on the report.
I could do that if you want. So the report covers, we've had some plumbing work that needs to be undertaken and is currently in train to sort of do that. The building is rough number, about 30 years old, guys, give or take. And we have had a couple of events happen in that building over the last sort of 2 or 3 years that have resulted in sort of some emergency repairs. And as part of that report, staff are recommending that we do a full structural report on that building just to help with us to understand the maintenance that needs to be required in that building going forward over the next probably 10 or 20 years, just given we're stepping into the long-term plan. And that's everything from understanding what other plumbing is in that building, how the building is aging itself structurally, and looking, I guess, at everything across the building when it comes to heating, HVAC, other plumbing, electrical, all of that kind of stuff, just so we can get a real feel ourselves of what is required in the next phase of this building. A lot of buildings, as they come up on that sort of 30-year period, do require a little bit of work on them, and we just need to know what is required going forward. And hence,
This one, the comprehensive standard.
So a full structural assessment, and what that means is we look at the actual bones of the building, and then we look at the mechanical services that are associated with it, how it actually the building performs, and even right out to the cladding, to the roofing and everything else. So again, every best intention in the community and love the building, but is it functioning as well as it could be? And this is what we actually need to find out. If we do that structural assessment, it narrows our gaps and makes us, allows us to do a targeted approach. And I mean, I'm not saying this, but in the worst case scenario, it could go, the economies of scales are not stacking and you guys need to make a decision what we're going to be doing here. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but I think it's really important for us to understand the gaps and plan properly. Yeah.
Can I also just confirm that in terms of that we receive quotes for undertaking that work rather than going to a single provider each time, or do we go to a single provider each time?
We receive quotes, but we have got preferred suppliers. And look, that pipe is.
Oh, no, so not about the pipe, about the assessment.
Oh, the assessment, yes. Yeah, absolutely. We'll go out and do the, we've got a set of engineers that we like to use, but we do our proper procurement sheet quotes and then run it through the scales. In this case, it's going to be cheapest quote's going to win. He's going to give us the most comprehensive.
It's just, I prefer that to be on the $50,000 end, than the $70,000 end, obviously. I know that there are a range of complicating factors, but it's just reassuring, and thank you that it is going through that.
Yeah. And I also just want to iterate, in the past, and I don't know why they did this in this country, it was quite an anomaly to me, but they used to do an initial seismic assessment and then, and that's like a paper thing, and then you go, okay, the building's okay, and then you start doing invasive, and all of a sudden you're going, hang on a second, there's a massive. So we skip that step. We go straight to detailed. And the same thing when we do full structural reports, because I don't want to waste money doing something that actually means nothing until you actually get into it.
And
So
the team would be following that be a maintenance plan that would be suggested and come back.
So so when you look at performance of a building, you've got to go, okay, how's it performing? And if you can imagine, like an electrician will put a heat monitor onto electrics, right? And if you've got cold spots and stuff, then you can say, okay, so that's where the heating is not getting into, and that's basically what a full structure is. So you look at the building and you're going, where are the gaps? And then you start, you add up the economies of scale. So let's say, for argument's sake, that the full mechanical system is failing. Then you're going, okay, that's quite major. And then you start combining it, okay, and let's say it's really earthquake prone or something like that. And then if it ends up that it's going to be a $5 million fix, then you go, okay, and what's a new building going to cost? And that's how you just weigh it up. But we take the board and the council through every step of the way. So as we get the assessment, we'll share it with you guys. We'll do our gap analysis. We'll share that with you guys, and you guys make the decisions at the end of the day. We just inform.
Question, I promise.
Yep.
After that assessment, you anticipate that we will know exactly where that pipe remains in the entire facility so that we can plan for ongoing replacement?
100%. So anything that we can't evasively test or open and expose, we'll bypass, because we just won't take that chance. That pipe is a real nasty stuff.
I want to reiterate that this is a building that a lot of people have actually seen get built, including myself. I remember when it was built. And so the public will have a perception of that as well and be looking at. So we need to be really careful we do this properly.
Oh, 100%, 100%, yeah.
Okay, so question on the table, receive and accept the level of significance. And we approve unbudgeted expenditure of 35,000, which is to replace the physio pipe. And we undertake unbudgeted expenditure of 50 to 70 for structural and building assessment to ascertain the life cycle of the building and including work required in the 2027 to 37 LTP. Be happy with the motion. Okay, so I'll move Jim, you're happy to second? In favour? Against? Please. So 6.5.9 Alexandra Golf Club shed, bit of a change in.
Me again. I take this report as read also. This one was presented earlier this year, but the golf club have changed their mind and want to extend an existing shed instead of building a relocated one.
Any questions?
So cost or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money to build a big flash new shed, so they just wanted to extend the original.
So I see it's connected to that original shed. Is it on the side of the shed, or does it open up into one big shed?
An extension on the back of the shed.
I presume as part of the saving, there's one less wall to build.
Is it just one building?
Yeah.
Or will have an open piece to the other building like that. So that's where you save money, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Only having one less wall.
And there's no disadvantages per se. It's,
No.
in terms of footprint.
It's very close to where the other shed was going to be.
Yeah.
It's not that significant.
And the forecast is appropriate in terms of size. It's going to be a good 10 years before they want another shed from the Gold
This
Coast.
is information they've given to us, and they're the ones who run these numbers. So but effectively, the GFA is good. We're pretty happy with it. So
If Ryan Falkland's another open, they double in numbers.
Could
It
be,
should be good for
could
10
be.
years. Okay,
Have another golf course.
I'm happy to move option one. Option one. Yep. No changes required there. Seconded for that. Jim. Yep. Again. Very good.
Thank you.
This little one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Online. Alex, can you hear us? Not. We might have Paula.
If they can speak on Alex's behalf, we can't. Good, so Alex prepared this report to update the BCB on what's happening, what we're aware of on the bird flu. We know we've got 2 cases confirmed in New Zealand, and so just wanted to reassure the board that we have a plan in place. MPI and ORC have come to visit the council and have reached out, and our team have identified the risk areas, and we have PPE ready to go should we need it. We just want to really emphasise that MPI is the lead, and for any comms and engagement, we point directly to them as the lead agency for this, but we'll make sure that we do our work on our land. The key is around education for these birds. If we do get it come and land, we just want to make sure that to reduce contagion, if the birds are removed by burying, that is the ideal outcome. And if there are birds that have inflicted that disease and are not dead, is to leave them alone, because that creates immunity if they survive through it. So our key will be around education at this stage. It isn't here yet, so we just want to keep a watching brief at this point without alarming people, but we're certainly watching and here, and we'll pass it on to MPI.
I guess in terms of risk, probability is not high, but the extent of risk, if it happens, is considerable, I suppose. Isn't it?
We don't know. We just got to be ready in case it does go, but we don't want to be over alarming. We are inland, and it is waterfowl primarily, but of course baby and birds fly. So
What's the council's involvement? Is it just as in disposal of the dead birds? Is that what we're
to stop the spread through. So if birds are predating on pets or even to try and stop it.
I'm not
Or
sure
just
if you can hear me online. I'm from halfway to the office, but the main reason we're updating you is to make sure you heard the instructions from us before you start getting calls from the public. We've just got those 2 responsibilities, one for disposal and the second is as landowners from our own land, but that won't stop people calling you for advice. So we wanted to make sure you have it before they call you, and that is, if you can bury it, bury it.
And if it's alive, leave it alone.
So please leave it alone, because it might help immunity for the species going forward. If you have people approaching you that have got hen houses or want to have poultry farms, they want to protect their birds, I think separating their feeding area from, you just don't want that cross connection with wild birds. So if they're feeding indoors, so just little tips like that may help.
Yeah, given we don't be experts in the area, can we just refer them to MPI?
Absolutely, they are the lead. Absolutely, and they'll have the most up-to-date information. And initially, if people are seeing birds, to contact them once, and so API are interested to know if there's new cases arrive, to a point, and if we do become established as bird flu, then they will stop collecting data.
We won't have to worry about communicating. State national media will be all over it.
Yeah, we'll do our bit too. We'll make sure we're sharing everything, but they're the experts. We're just passing that on.
Have you identified a disposal area if you have to do it yourselves, or is it up to the individual landowners to bury their own?
Primarily up to individual landowners. We have looked into whether we need to develop an offal fold, and that'll be something we would have to get a resource consent for on council land. So they're just things that we've just, scenario sort of working out scenarios at this point. Alex, is there anything else you want to add?
No, that was it. I've just got to council, so well done on timing.
Tony is flying through.
Okay. Go.
Can we just move?
Move to
There's a verbal.
Just that the report is being received and accepted. Thank you for the.
Yep, thank you. Second. It's carried.
Thank you. I've got a short report for you just on some highlights that have happened over the last 6 weeks or so. So I attended the Waiora Manahiri Care Governance Group final meeting out in Omako, which was recognising the progress of the Manahiri Care Catchment Project and celebrating the journey from their initial through to delivery. So we had chat together and read through the final report that's being submitted for the funding of the Omako Golf Club, and then it's just incredible, and they were really highlighting the momentum being built by local farmers and others being able to see what can be achieved, the amount of willows that have come out now from that valley, not just through the funding, but also from other farmers just saying, oh, we'll have a crack at that too, is fantastic. And I also really acknowledge the work that Omako School has done, where their year 8s actually go down and have been going down for a number of years. They do the water sampling at the wetlands, which is really cool for them to see that progress and get excited about conservation and science. I took a tour of the Dunstan Hospital with MP Joseph Mooney alongside the Chief Executive Hayley Anderson and the Nursing Director Gemma Atkinson, which is incredible what they do out there for our community. It's just next level, and probably us here have at some point spent time either with a loved one or ourselves in the ED that is not an ED, that is not funded to be an ED, but that they run because they are such really fantastic people and they invest a lot of time and effort in training their team. So huge shout out to them. I also got to hand out a silver Duke of Edinburgh award here, which was fantastic, from a local lad at Dunstan High School who not only does a huge amount for his school, but also for his community with our local fire brigade, Dunstan Rural Fire. So that was really neat. And the school asked me if I would like to be involved in more of those awards. And I said, yes, please, because I think it is really, really well done.
Who was it?
Name's just totally gone out of my head. I'll send it to you. I've got a photo. It's great. Hosted a ministerial visit for Casey Costello with Grey Power Alexandra, which was providing an opportunity to discuss issues affecting older residents and share local community perspectives. So Minister Costello was outlining the government's plan for better living in later life, and I filled her in on everything that's happening, especially when it comes to housing. I hosted a podcast for Arkona LGNZ on LTP in the time of rates capping with a mayor and chair from New Zealand. So that's available online if anybody wants to listen. We've had loads of council meetings and workshops, including discussions on strategic projects, upcoming council business. Two big topics on the agenda are the Head Start amalgamation conversation, which is coming to council tomorrow, and also our long-term plan work for next year alongside RMA reform, fast track, civil defence reform, rates capping, etc., etc., etc. Attended a beautiful and actually surprisingly warm dawn service for Matariki with Uru Whenua Health up at the Lookout, which is at this time of year a very respectable kind of 7:30. It's not a 5 a.m. And then we went and had some shared kai afterwards. It was a great event, very well attended by our community, and a lovely reflection and opportunity to reset for a new year. It's great for those of us that didn't do that well with New Year's resolutions. In January, you get another crack in July. We opened the Te Puna Mahara Cromwell Memorial Event Centre last weekend, the weekend before, which was fantastic. About 6,500 people through the doors for the first weekend, many of them from this part of town. And the events and things that are going to be on there are just astronomical. I think our people are really going to love it, and I'm sure Central Otago and Queenstown Lakes will embrace it because there's not really anything like it anywhere else in our district or next door. And then I also wanted to acknowledge the passing of Senior Constable Jess Owen, who's our Ranfurly Sole Charge cop, who passed away early last week. His funeral is going to be this afternoon at the Ranfurly Stadium, which I anticipate will be a huge event for that valley. And also just note that he was a very good friend of a number of you from the Maniatoto Community Board. So they are feeling it alongside the police team from next door. My report.
Individually,
be great.
individually, right.
And it's best.
So I move to accept the mayor's report. Carried to June. Those in favour? Carried. Righto, so in the absence of one from Jaden, I've got a number of things, I guess, in terms of highlights out of the things I've been to. I think LGNZ had a briefing, online briefing, I think, about the Head Start program, which was really didn't provide a lot of clarity, really. They just advised we don't know what we don't know, and nor does anyone else. I went to the ORC drop-in pest management, and they don't know what's going on. The staff have got no idea other than what they're reading the paper around amalgamations. But boy, I was impressed with what they're doing, and the science and the level of dedication they're doing in tracking with weeds and wallabies, and they've got genetic tracing on wallabies that they're catching now, so they know roughly where they've come from, and so they're across a lot of that, way more than what we see. Last week, the Tourism Central Otago had a strategy meeting that Ants ran in the finery, and it was massive amount of enthusiasm from some fantastic speakers there, and picking up really a comment, Martin, about losing our brand, the risk of losing our brand. There's such a lot of horsepower in terms of our tourism sector that get you excited about maintaining our brand. Also, I think Taylor might have had a podcast about the ice. You're at the ice swimming championships. Gee, what a small bunch of really energised people, which were my age and older, with some exceptions.
Bunch of crazies.
But it's just interesting, I guess, how we turn adversity into opportunity. So that's kind of a bit of a summary of the highlights of stuff I've read around. Sit there?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, around the room. On my left.
Well, I joined Tony and Jim at the Alexandra amalgamation talk. Some very vocal older people. And that was very interesting. It was good to be part of. And then attended a fantastic AI workshop that Huddle ran for not-for-profits across the region. That there was really great attendance from not only here, Cromwell, but Wanaka as well, which was really good. And if you see any Huddle events coming, I really recommend that you rock in, because they are a wonderful opportunity to better understand some of the work that's happening in our communities. So Huddle is an organisation set up through the CLT and OCT to support profit organisations across the region of Central Otago, supported by some work happening out of Queenstown Lakes. So everything from supporting funding to training, changes to legislation, obviously recently with the Incorporated Societies changes, and really supporting many of our much smaller groups that are doing the tough and relying on volunteers. So they run regular trainings as well as offering support to our community groups and NGOs.
We accept that? Yep. Or we need members' reports. Yeah, okay, sweet. Yep. Martin.
Just reiterate what Worship was saying as far as council's concerned with the amount of change on our plates is challenging, to say the least. Happier note, Blossom Festival is 8 weeks away this coming weekend, and I think we're all looking forward to it. Everything's come together quite nicely in that case, and we have a record number of floats being built, and participation across everything that is involved is very positive. Yeah. Again, the hearings, my RMA commissioners had on, we are as busy as ever. There'll be some changes being mooted as far as the makeup of the panel is concerned, and that'll be brought to council in due course. Just trying to balance the workload. It's just, yeah. Yeah, thank you. That's me.
Just one eye on the Blossom Festival 12 months out. And the big one eye on the Blossom Festival 12 months out is big.
Oh, yes, it's the 70th anniversary next year. So makes us the longest running event of its kind in the country consistently. And committee and myself are already thinking about going to do. And it's interesting, the last week I've had 2 tour groups approach who are, people are aware of it because there's 2 tour companies already booking in for next year's event because of the 70th. Let's get this one out on the road first before I start worrying about the next one.
Well, yourself and I went immediately after our last meeting, went to the museum, had a meeting with the museum people, which was enlightening, and attended the same as Tony and the amalgamation discussions as well, which was once again very enlightening. No, Jaden has handed over the grey checky thing to me.
Yep.
He's too busy.
Yep.
So now I'll be pushing along those barriers. So I had a meeting with Gray, a cup of coffee and a chair just to bring us up to date with that. So I'll be pushing that along a wee bit to make sure that that's the linger I think I was talking about earlier. And that's about it really. Oh, I went to the Beverly Shield match on Friday night and it was well attended by the community. And good game.
Yeah, I actually thought if you took the Canterbury crowd, well, I didn't think that was that well attended.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of them.
The club final the next day, which would have had not twice the crowd, but a lot bigger following because I think people knew about it.
My old team, of course, played for Mid-Canterbury. So.
Potentially timing as well, right?
Friday, yeah.
And more just in terms of the time of the kickoff.
Yeah.
It's good to see Fabian Holland out there, get a good.
Oh, it was why a lot of people went.
Yeah.
Giving us votes to a local kid.
Hmm?
Fabian gave us votes to a local Alex lad.
Oh, fantastic.
Really?
Oh, cool.
His dad may or may not have drunk a shoey out of it.
That's good. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, yeah.
Okay, so I'll move to accept the members' report. You can go. Vote. There. Okay. Got there. Front report, yep. On that.
Yeah, we've got, what he's going to
Couple of replies.
Yep.
Things. So River Park across the road here is underway. Slow start or soft start, I should say. We have a big stump to remove, so we're just working through with Heritage New Zealand on that. Then just one of the stumps in the way of a couple of the right, so that'll start the ramp up over the next few weeks. So that work will looking like end of September-ish time that project's finished, all going well.
Stability unforeseen.
Yeah, but we've got to work around it. So that's all. Yeah. Not a major, it's just have to take the stump out. Can't drive a pile through the stump, that's all. And I think it wouldn't be too good to bang a few nails into the stump and use it as a support either. So we'll do it properly.
So there was looked like a drainage pipe from stormwater coming out of the area and it actually extend out past the bank, it drops the others.
Comes down under there's been a track made.
Goes under the road and under the track and then it stops long before it hits the water. So
Yeah, it used to be pipes sticking out like that and just pour out. So
it's extend past the bank. So we're going to tip all that water onto it.
well, I think there's gravel, boulders for it to fall on and stop the inertia of the water. Which was had been there originally. There's 3 or 4 different bits along that whole.
So I think we're concentrated into one hit now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we think? 30 September is the
around September, late September. But when we know a bit closer, once work's underway more fully, we'll pick some dates for our official opening for that. And the other one, I've got
Sea transport.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. It's the highway.
Oh, yeah, so the board, that, there was a proposal, we took out the tree opposite Molyneux Estate that had all the fluff on it. And there was a proposal to do a few more along there, so, but the board wanted that put on hold, so we put that on hold.
Put on hold for consultation to take place, didn't they?
Yeah, well, does the board still want to go? We'd have to put it through the LTP, that's all.
So just confirming that, what we moved was that there was going to, the recommendation was that consultation took place for the ongoing removal beyond the first three. Are you asking whether we want to continue?
Well, then there was feedback from the board that we should stop the project, which we've done.
Allow for consultation.
So
That right?
to allow for consultation.
To allow consultation, and then it's considered as part of the LTP. So there's no funding currently in for that, and then the LTP would be the next round of that.
So has the consultation taken place?
No, that's
Planned to take place?
All we through the LTP.
Would be as part of the LTP, so that consultation is planned for next year.
You're right.
LTP? Yeah.
It's LTP consultation. There's no tree funding in it to remove and redevelop that place as we speak.
Now,
Yeah.
so the consultation will include the removal and replanting and redevelopment.
If it's approved by council.
Yeah.
Get up on it for the consultation.
And part of it, we need to see what's happening outside Ngāi as well. So if whatever happens going right into town is thought as theme rather than this and then something different. So we're working on theirs at the moment, and we're working with them on that. So they're putting the mounds in the moment, and then they'll get grass, and we'll put some trees with their things over the next little while, over the next 8 to 10 months, I suppose, as that project progresses. And then we can see what that bit looks like, and then the next bit can be, I guess, sort of themed into that as well.
Then
Sorry.
you go, Tony.
So I see I think it was on their plan, that fund in front of the road on the CODC land is about 1 metre high, which is, so they're obviously going to bring that down to 1 metre.
No, I don't think it was ever going to be 1 metre high. It's partly there for screening that subdivision as well.
Yeah.
A bit like there is outside Molyneux Estate.
Yeah.
Under those trees. Yeah. And there'll be some, it probably won't have any planting on it, probably be just grass. It's much easier to maintain, and some trees along each side. Do some screening and some beautification as well.
One of the things when we talked about taking the pine trees down was you weren't going to anticipate replanting because there was no water.
Yeah, no, yes, that's right. Working through with them in water. There's a whole lot of things should come together. We get there, but they're all in discussions with them, and they need to put a bore down, and no point putting that down when they haven't got enough for the pump water, if you know what I mean. You need a certain amount of output for the pump to flow properly. So we're working through all that. What that looks like.
Undertaking.
We're still negotiating that stuff. Yeah.
And just on your note on the height of it, the indicative plan is approximately 2 metres is what they're aiming for. So, yeah, and to Gordy's point, it's to essentially screen the subdivision.
Yeah, and make it sound sound barrier for the houses that'll be on the other side of the bank as well. Like up by the Clyde Retirement Village and the next one along as well.
By March, you anticipate having those discussions, reaching a point where the removal of those trees has already been penciled into the consultation for the long-term plan.
Yeah. Just one other thing on trees. So in Pioneer Park, there's quite a lot of old trees planted around 1900 Waiba and things. So they're getting quite, the area underneath their root plates are quite worn. So we're going to put some bark around those to help that help them breathe and make the biota work, because at the moment it's just like this table, which doesn't help their longevity. So we'll put in some big areas of bark under those root plates or under the drip lines, I should say, over the next little while. We won't do it all at once. Trying to minimise any of the use that goes on those sites, because where it's worn anyway, I don't think it's used for anything particularly, but we need to help those trees as much as we can so they can aerate and, microorganisms and things can do their thing. Otherwise, they'll have a lot limited a life than they would otherwise.
What area of the park are they on?
Up near the playground, there's quite a few, and then
The big ones.
all the big pine trees essentially. Yeah, a couple of oaks and some cedars there. Some are already in guard, so and we should look at them. They're doing much better than ones that are ampled over. But, I mean, people can still walk across them. It just means it'll be a cushion. Which we'll top up every now and then. So if you see that, we'll put something out on that just so people wonder what's going on. They know.
Yeah, unless there's anything else in the status. Just governance, anyone else? Receive. It's 105.
Status report. You mean that the report received from Gordon? Thank you. Thank you. Favour? Yes, carried. So we are on 1.4 now, aren't we?
Date of the next meeting.
Come to which one's under? Yeah, what about? Okay.
But nothing else we need to know about the Little Valley Bridge project. Delays are causing you any extra strife other than just simply being a delay?
No, for the. I think we're still on track for month or early next month around that, and then it would be organised the removal of that bridge, but it's on one.
Thanks for keeping us updated with that.
That is the next meeting. 7th of September. The with that. Jump
Noting
up.
it.
Okay,
Just need to.
resolution. So move a resolution to exclude the public. Seconder. Please. Go. Albert.
We can close the public.
Sorry.
Meeting. And the live stream.
Live stream.